Welcome back to Open Line. We're having a great discussion about Metro Nashville Public Schools and what is going to happen with the coronavirus and what happens with learning because of it. Two great guests joining me tonight, Ashford Hughes, who is with Metro Nashville Public Schools, and also Christiane, the chair of the Metro Nashville School Board. You are invited to call in. The number is on the bottom of the screen, 615-737+. Join the conversation. We'd love to have you. Let's get right back to it. Ashford, I know that you wanted to point out some of the things that have really been worked on since August to make this transition back to all virtual that will happen after Thanksgiving. That was just announced today, by the way, to make that a better situation for everybody.
Absolutely. The number one thing we were facing in August was getting students and teachers the devices, the computers they needed to be successful in this virtual space. What we've done since then is Dr. Bowder not only said that we would be a one-to-one device-to-student ratio, we began to slowly but surely imprint all of that right now. When we looked at the devices and those students that needed the devices the most, the first thing we did in our planning session was to devise an equity matrix. This matrix would look at students that had economic disadvantages, EL students, students that attended our schools of innovation, and our students with disabilities, and would prioritize to make certain that they got what they needed first because we know they had the most need. We've done that. We've accomplished that through an equity matrix, which was the first time that we've ever done that. Also, thankful to Mayor Cooper, our teachers also received new computer devices to be able to help the students learn. These are things that are unprecedented that we've done in a short period of time to really expand and express the desired need to be student-centered and student-focused. The second thing I can't say enough is the Navigator program. These individuals are in schools working alongside of teachers and principals to reach out to every student to make certain not only the academic needs are taken care of, but the social emotional needs are taken care of as well. When you talk about planning, Nashville is one of the leading districts in the country at institutionalizing and implementing social emotional learning practices in order to focus on student-centered outcomes. In a short period of time, we've had to expand and do this. I think that is vital when we talk about equity and meeting students where their needs are. I also want to circle back to the unprecedented number, 50,000 food boxes distributed to our families since August the 4th. We've had to have bus drivers change routes, hand deliver, meet at certain places to make certain that families were not going without food during this time. I think that is a vital number to really sit back and galvanize around. Like, we are doing a lot of things right now to try to meet every need of every family within our district, right? We've also, again, we've connected with over 9,000 families that have showed up to these technical support centers, which have morphed beyond technical support, but also helping to log on, finding out homework access, tutoring, right? We are in the community. We are in the school district meeting families' needs where they are right now. I don't think you can make that happen without proper planning and with that full buy-in and support from everyone across the district, from even volunteers showing up from 9 to 3 at these locations to help students access their homework and get everything they need. We're doing the work of equity because equity moves beyond just strategies, but it is a action commitment to addressing the needs of students where they are. And that's what this district is doing right now at this time.
All right. Thank you for that input. Let's go back to the phone lines. Willie is on the line. Hi, Willie. Go ahead.
This is Willie Johnson. I had my same grandchildren for the last 3 years, and they really ain't learned nothing when they was in the school before the pandemic happened. So I had to teach my kids myself, so I don't know what they keep talking about the pandemic's keeping them. It's the parents keeping the kids from learning in the school system, keep them from learning. So maybe the parents should step up and do something, not a pandemic.
All right. Thank you, Willie. I want to ask a question when it comes to the MNEA, and Christian, I'll direct this at you first. They recently did a survey, and the majority of teachers, slight majority of teachers, said they don't feel safe in the classroom right now. But what struck me about that survey was the significantly small number of respondents in comparison to how many teachers are in the school system in Metro. What do you make of that?
To be honest, I'm not as familiar with MNEA's study or how they, chose when they send it out or how long they offered teachers an option of sending it in. But I will say on a grander scale, we've tried as school board members, as central office staff, to make sure that we are hearing from teachers. So whether it's doing town halls as individual board members or just reaching out to teachers that we know, we're trying our best to just keep a pulse on the community, because we had an overwhelming number of families or parents from a small portion of the community that really led the charge in asking us to reopen schools. And so I think it was more district-wide that teachers were looking to make their voices heard as well. And then, parents from other parts of the city began kind of piping up and letting us know one way or the other what they preferred. But so I'm not as sure with MNEA, but I know that we are hearing from teachers more than we've ever heard from them before, and I appreciate them reaching out.
Gotcha. I wonder right now, Ashford, are discussions happening about what happens after the new year and what's going into that decision making?
Absolutely. So absolutely. Again, as Dr. Battle said in September, right now we also will be having another survey go out to parents to focus on, do they want to keep their kid virtual post calendar year January, or do they want to come back into the classroom? That survey will go out November the 30th and be open to, I believe, December the 4th or December the 5th. Now, we know that still we don't know where we're going to be at with the virus come, January, December 29th or whatnot. But we're giving parents the option right now to kind of take a look and say, this is what I feel comfortable with. The reason that we try to keep it that way is because teachers, schools have to plan with their staff how they're going to assemble staff. Right? And they can't just be switching back and forth. So we ask that when parents do make that decision, that they're able to stick with that decision. Again, conversations are not just happening with central office staff. The conversations are happening with teachers, with families, with students, to really assess where they are, what's going to be best for them. We've dipped into not only surveys, but teacher advisory councils, parent advisory councils, meeting one-on-one with different advocacy groups via Zoom meeting to kind of get the community's feedback on this. So we're looking at the health, what the health department is telling us. We're taking the lead from what the mayor's office is also giving us as lead indications. But we are sitting down, co-creating processes in order to get the best and the most out of our students right now. We know there are challenges, but if we hadn't have done the planning earlier this summer and continue to stretch that planning out and continue to be innovative, we wouldn't be prepared to make these decisions now. And if you look across the state, we've seen where some school districts weren't prepared and what happened. Well, we've been planning and we're prepared for this right now. And that is why Dr. Battle feels comfortable in saying we can finish on out virtual because we have what's in place to be successful.
Any timeline for the decision to what happens after the first of the year?
I believe it's in the report that came out, and Dr. Battle would say we're going to have to play a lot of it by ear depending on what the virus. It's been a week to week, a month to month kind of issue right now. We hope that there's some stability and that the numbers decrease. We want our students back into school. That's what's, I want to get that part across. We want our students to get back in the classroom. We know that's where they thrive. Our teachers, our principals want them back too. But being in leadership, you have to make tough decisions for the betterment, for the health of everybody involved. We want to have a perfect decision right now, but it's not going to come. So we're going to use science. We're going to use the innovative brains that Dr. Battle has brought. We're going to use our whole community that really cares about our MNPS, and it is our MNPS, our public school system, to make these decisions.
I was looking at the report that Sean released this week about the number of quarantines and cases in the school right now. And this is just the snapshot of the previous week, that we have 172 staff members on quarantine, 55 COVID positive cases. And when it comes to students, 616 students are on quarantine with 48 positive COVID cases. I know health and safety is paramount. I know other districts have also struggled with the cases are not that high. The amount of quarantines are causing a problem, especially when it comes to teachers and not having enough subs. Has that been a problem in Metro?
Yes. Overwhelmingly, yes. Which is why I shared my personal story, because my father doesn't go anywhere. He gets his groceries delivered, and here he contracted it in one of our schools, one of the schools that had small numbers because he was working with students that have exceptional needs. So one thing that I will continue to drive home is losing even one life is one life too many. So we're going to do everything that we can to keep all of our staff, all of our students, all of the humans under our care from being sick, but we certainly want to make sure that they don't pass. I mean, that they, that it's not a loss of life. So I understand what the community is saying, that we have less than 100 cases, so why is it such a big deal? Quarantines are happening because it takes so long. There's a backlog in getting testing done. You're receiving your results. So what we don't want a chance is allowing people out of quarantine when they are actively, exposing others to the disease, and they don't think they are, because I think we know that that's what's happening exponentially. So we're erring on the side of caution nonstop because we care about people living.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We will wrap things up after this. Stay with us.